In this video, we are going to take a look at some possible issues with the trail data in the Colorado Trail Explorer, otherwise known as COTREX. We are at the Cherokee State Wildlife Area, and as has become the custom, I have the COTREX data in green with a black casing. I think it looks quite nice, and it's overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. Now in this video, we're going to take a look at some possible trails that COTREX is missing. So if you look on OpenStreetMap here, there's this trail here that's obviously not in COTREX. There's this trail or track here, and this one over here. There are others, but those are the ones we are going to talk about in this video. Now first, let's take a look at whether these trails physically exist. And I actually ran or hiked these trails back in 2020 in June, actually twice. So this was my track for my GPS on the 30th, and I'll turn that off, and this was my track on the 26th, where I did not travel on those particular trails. So we're concerned about the 30th. So I have personal first-hand experience that these trails do exist. Now let's take a look at the some imagery, and this is from Larimer County 2021. So it is another government agency. Just be a moment for it downloads and caches. So you can clearly see a trail along here kind of disappears, or as it gets a little fainter through there. There's more vegetation, and it resumes quite clear through here. It follows along this creek and then joins this track here. Here's this other track heading north. This is actually more clear in the Bing imagery, so I'll put that on temporarily. You can definitely see the trail or track through here much more clearly on the Bing imagery. Let's go back to Larimer County imagery. We'll travel west on this trail or track here. Again, this is not in COTREX, but it does physically exist. It winds its way around. Now in this area, it's kind of hard to see because of the tree canopy. And Bing is the case as well. Let's go back to Larimer County, and it comes through here. I'll turn on the Strava heat map. There's not a lot of heat, but you can see that there's a little bit there. And I'll turn on my tracks as well. Let's push that up so it's visible. There we go. So I mean, I traveled along this, so I can personally vouch that it exists. So the question you may have now is, okay, it physically exists, but is this official? Imagery, so we're just back to OpenStreetMap and COTREX. Now I happened to take some photos when I was out running, and they are geotagged. And so these little icons that look like a little camera are photos. So if I click on one, it'll pop up. This first one just shows that the trail does physically exist. It's quite well defined, and that incidentally is looking south. This next one, again, it just shows that the trail does physically exist. A little bit fainter there, a little bit overgrown, but was easy to follow. Now here, we have a carcinite sign. Yes, it's been knocked down, but these are not the type of signs that many people other than land managers use. And we'll have some photos later on that shows that Colorado Parks and Wildlife uses carcinite signs to mark its trails that look almost exactly like this. Here's another carcinite sign. This one, of course, is brown, and it is turned right side up, although it is broken off. But that does indicate that that's where it belongs. Someone didn't pull it out of the ground and move it. And you have the traditional little icons that indicate what type of travel is allowed, apparently, in this trail. Foot travel, dogs on leash, bikes, and horses are allowed. So those carcinite signs are definitely good evidence that this is an official trail. Moving on to the next image. Now this one is looking north. Another carcinite sign, this one kind of rust colored. This trail is closed to horses and bicycles and has that arrow pointing up, which in this, given the orientation of the sign, means north. So this track or trail here is official as well. If we click on this photo. All right, so obviously an official Colorado Parks and Wildlife sign, keep gate closed. Why post signs like that if it's not an official trail and you don't expect people to be traveling on it? So again, more evidence that this track or trail is official and should be in COTREX. All right, back down to the south a little bit. We have another green carcinite sign broken off and laying on the ground. Again, you don't find too many people using these other than land managers. Moving on. Okay, we have a gate. Why have a gate if it's not a trail? And laying at the base of that gate is a sign that originally says, please close the gate. I'm guessing that it's half gone. It very much looks like the type of sign that Colorado Parks and Wildlife uses. Here finally we have a green carcinite sign that is actually intact and standing upright, but very good evidence that this is an official trail. This trail open to, again, bikes, horses, dogs on leash, and foot travel. And a second upright, intact carcinite green sign. And we're moving along this trail going westward. Here we have another fence and gate and another carcinite sign, and this one, even if we zoom in here, even has the logo for Colorado Division of Wildlife, again indicating that it's an official, unless we have a forager operating, it's an official sign. And another please close gate sign on the opposite side of the fence there. And if we zoom in on this, it says Colorado Division of Wildlife. So more evidence that this is an official trail. Continuing on west. This just indicates again that this physically exists. This is very well defined. I'd call it a track more than a trail. You could get, if it was legal, you could get an ATV through here. And next photo, another green carcinite sign that's intact and standing upright. And again, we have the logo for the Colorado Division of Wildlife. And yet another green carcinite sign with the Colorado Division of Wildlife logo on it. We zoom in. All right, looks like this is the final photo here. And just more evidence that this is a trail that physically exists, as well as has the official sign. So we see this quite wide, well-worn trail here. In summary, it looks like that COTREX is missing this trail here, this tracker trail going north here, and this tracker trail going west here. And this is all evidenced by my personal experience, as well as geotagged photos that I took of official CPW signs along the trail, which I have shown you today.